G'day, welcome to today's stream everybody. I'm your host Mitch, you can call me Taz, and well, we're in for quite the treat today, flying the beautiful Q400, and I have to say beautiful because I'm an individual who did not like the Q400. I've flown it multiple times in the real world, but I have to say flying in the sim hasn't been so much fun. Adding to that, I've got new rudder pedals, so it is definitely a joy to fly. And with that, welcome. Mono, g'day mate, how are we doing? Yes, you definitely weren't an influence for this aircraft at all. Actually, I was looking at our records, because I flew a Q400 out of Toowoomba Well Camp a few months ago now. And I realised, oh, it's this specific aircraft, so Mr. Gladstone or Quebec Oscar Alpha. And I mean, I must say, credit where credit's due. I mean, FJS have just done, or FlyJSM have just done an excellent job on the model today. Well, not today, but in general. What I was going to refer to when talking about today is, as you can see, there's a bit of weather, and that's just what's happening up in Queensland at the moment. Obviously, right now it is night time in Queensland. I can tell because I can look out my window. But we've put it today mostly so we can actually have a look at the scenery down below, because obviously today we're using Map Enhancement Pro with the hybrid maps, and we're going to see if it's worth it or not. This is going to be a series that we're going to prolong flying around the world, so if you have any locations in mind where you specifically want to see some sceneries, or what it would look like flying VFR in those areas, by all means put it down in the chat below and we'll get on to that. Anywho, I think it is time. I mean, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, the modelling on it is absolutely gorgeous, and just the texture quality, magnificent. Do love those engines. Pratt & Whitney 11050s, I believe, or 1250s. No, it's 1250s because that's the max RPM. Anywho, I think with that, we need to make ourselves into the cockpit and get all of this started. So, in this cockpit, obviously, cockpit I've slowly got myself familiar with. We're going to go over to here. We're going to have force out. Recirc fans on. Externals are clear. Door landing gear switch is down. Flight deck prep will be completed and the briefing is completed. Oh, I just realised that's before takeoff checklist. So, battery masters all coming on. And I think what we're going to do is going to come up here. Let's get our AP on. Watch this. Power. Goes through its little self-test and start. Once that starter goes off, that's how we know when we have power. Now something we're running today is X-Plane 12.4. This is going to be our first real stream with the release candidate. And we'll get the generator on and the bleed air can come on. And well, first of all, that music's way too loud. Let's put that down in the background. Just realised my audio is very low, and the reason why my audio is low is because this plane is ridiculously loud. And this is not talking about those engines. It's talking about the aircon system in this thing. It's horrendous. Very true to life, though, in how horrendous it is. So, what we're going to do, going to get my flight plan done. So, YBRK, and we are going down to YBBN. We are QFA. Actually, no, we're Sun State. So, we QFA? No, we're SSQ, you see. No, we're QLK because we're Qantas Link. And DHC 8402 is what we want. Awesome. So block time of 1 hour and 35. That means we're going to be up in the air for about 1 hour and 10. Let's check everything out. Initial altitude 19,000. Perfect for some VFR flying. Obviously it's above 10,000, so it's going to be VFR, but we're going to have some great visuals from up at that altitude. I think that weather cycle that is over there, I will check windy right now. I think that weather cycle in the real world has actually moved on. Let's see, weather radar. Yeah, so once we fly south of Rockhampton and get between like Hervey Bay and Brizzy, there is a few weather clouds here and there, or rain clouds, but yeah, there's pretty much nothing going on. Awesome, so I'm going to download this flight plan, and we'll keep that open because I do need to read that OFP for like our data, and we are QLink 2909 today. So let's get everything started. Now, the Q400 is a strange aircraft, and it's something, if you do own it, you'll come to use because it uses, well, the UNS-1 very obviously. But what it also shows is just this aircraft has zero commonality with anything else. And there's some very weird design features with this, or logic features I should say. For instance, a systems page which will show on the first officer's side, you can only have one systems page unless you glitch the entire systems out. That's a real life characteristic. Don't ask me why it's the case. Don't ask even the real pilots why it's the case, because it makes no sense. And here all of these are coming alive. The UNS system's still going through all of their testing. Must say, am enjoying flying this. It's pretty much all I've flown in the past couple of days. It is genuinely a extremely fun plane to hand fly. Now, that flight plan is already downloaded, so we're going to focus on our loading. So today we're going to go into here, we're going to go select load, and our ZFW for today is 25460, 25460. Okay, CG is within the limits, and we want 2,652 kilos of fuels. We'll just say 2,660. Awesome. CG is well within limits. Passenger numbers looking fabulous. We can actually remove like a few hundred kilos there and move it to the front hold. The reason why we want to do that just makes that CG balance out a little more. And so when we look at here, see, okay, so it says landing fuel is -63. That's because the time on route is set to 2 hours and 30, so we're going to move this down to 1 hour. And taxi time will be less than 10 minutes, so we'll put this down to like 5 minutes. Reserve fuel time 30 minutes, reserve fuel 429, landing fuel about 1.5 tons. Temperature sea level is 14 today down in Australia. No worries. So that's all sorted. So we're going to confirm load and we're going to start loading. Now what this is going to do is slowly get the aircraft prepared, and it's going to do a full loading sequence. So you're going to see a refuel probe like this, and that's going to slowly move over and open a panel over here. And that's just going to introduce fuel. Now, if you see that like some blinds are down, that is the quickest way you can in the Q400, or when you're watching someone with a Q400, know that they haven't set their window views correctly and they aren't outside the aircraft, because everything in this aircraft is interactable. And yes, you can slide every single one of these up, but if we go into the cabin, I'll show you this. Every single one. It's needless to say, a little bit ridiculous. What I am realizing though, and it's something that, see, it goes there. If I chuck that down to medium, also I have an 8 gig VRAM card, but because we've got that multi-pathing or multi-threading on with 12.4 for Sceneries, is the graphic fidelity, see, it just drops out, and if you give it 2 seconds, whatever's loaded on your screen loads back in. It's a really, really interesting, and how they've implemented it is different to say the least. Just realized we don't have our overheads, so we're going to get like that. Felicia, how are we, mates? And we'll get that overhead UI to work. Very nice. Awesome. So all of this getting done. Let's accept both these. 18th of March 2026. And if you go master crossfill, oh, we don't need to do that because we've done it for both. And we're going to go to flight plan. We're going to go to menu. Oh, hang on. Yeah, copy flight plan. And now let's find this. YPRK to YBBN. YBRK to YBBN, and that is number 3. Now this FMS system is really strange. It's very primitive as well. They continue to use it even in the upgraded Q400s recently, or retrofitted ones. There's no scratch pad. And the buttons beside, yeah, look, see, it shows 8. We've only got 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Everything is done via manual input, in that it's more manual than what it should be. So you'll say, we'll find what our flight plan is, YBRK, the YBBN, that's number 3, we put in number 3, and there. And then after that, you press enter, and then you come over to the flight plan page, and then you'll have your flight plan. Now, being Brisbane, we're going to do an ILS approach, and I'm going to show you how to do an ILS approach in the Q400. Needless to say, you are going to question what is with this aircraft. If we look at aircraft like 747-200 or the 727, 737-200, basically a lot of your classical airliners and how they intercept an ILS and all that, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. It's this really simple process. It makes logical sense. Q400 thinks of that and throws it against the wall. It is, without a doubt, a extremely stupid system. And if you fly Boeings and Airbuses a lot, it's not that it's difficult, but it does send your head for a loop because you have to think about it. Exactly, Flush. You're going to get your introduction to it, sir. So look at that. Everything is loading. We are still fueling. I mean, that model for this aircraft is just gorgeous. While we're down here, what we're going to do, we're going to focus on our departure stuff. So if I can find my phone. Did a flight in the 767 before. That was actually pretty fun. Okie doke, so runway 15, and are we using any departures? Or are we doing no, we'll use the budgie departure, of course. That just makes sense because it literally goes to, well, does the exact thing that we are going to do. So, because you can do this, and then just direct budgie, but if you do the budgie star, it's the exact same thing, but you got to chart for it. So, I'm going to show you how we put in a departure. So, click YBRK, you can see delete, info, and overfly. You don't do it like this. So, you click the airport, and you do not use side menu, you need to press menu. And then you go and press depart. We're departing runway 15, so we need to go number 2. Enter. And for the SID, we're doing the budgie 1 departure. Awesome. And now with that all done, there is no extra stuff for the SID, it is just budgie 2s. That's your transition waypoint. Come back to flight plan, 1300 intercept budgie Suzki. Awesome. So it gets rid of that BRK waypoint already. With that big noise, that tells me refueling is completed. And with this door open right here, we have started boarding our passengers. Now that we have all that, let's just do a quick check on top. We're going to get our tail logo lights on. Fasten seatbelt and no smoking signs are coming on. We will test the advisory. They all come up and all of these light up. Beautiful. Now this aircraft, yeah, she is a little primitive. As you can see, APU gen above 0.32 and DC is above 2.8. That's what we want to see with our DC batteries. But there's a lot of things. Not only is it a turboprop, but also in a lot of its character, like things you wouldn't think you have to do, but you do have to do. Now, something that does annoy me, and I would love to see, is like a loading thing here. I can actually just call one over using ground handling. But every time I send a Q400 be loaded, they use one of these. I know it's not standard practice, but it is down in Australia. Oh, these views are going to be bloody awesome. And what we'll do, we'll chuck ourselves on the X-Pilot. So we are Qantas Link 2909. And I'm going to chuck this over, pre-file it onto Vatsim. So we'll get that done, then we're going to do our briefing. File, and then we're going to get everything of ours sorted. So let's read our OFP here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get our charts up on the screen so you guys can follow along with me. So departure, budgie to RNAV. I can't put it that way and I can't put it there because I've got UI on both sides. Okay. So, transition out, choose flight level 100, so 10,000 feet. Starting on a runway heading of 148, we will actually get that chucked in for us right now. (148), and then after passing 1300, heading a 174. And then direct to budgie. Yep, see, and that just says what we've just said. Go back to IBRK, and let's get our QNH 1008. So if we have an engine failure for V1, I'll take controls, and we will stop on the runway. Engine issue after V1 will take her up into the air and circle to land. Cool. Everything is looking good. How are we doing on loading? See, 9 minutes. So you can actually see a little graph here showing all of the passengers slowly load, and you actually get tickets for every single one, so you can actually see who is or who isn't there, and you'll also see the bags. So that's 215 kilos of bags down there, 124 up there at the moment, 152 there. You can do fast load, but for the sake of it, we're going to give it a little bit of time. Don't believe there's any aircraft online down in Australia. Obviously, it's well, it's 20 past 8. It's 20 past 10, correction, down here. So a little late. Another thing, the FMSs do not speak to each other, so it's a bit like the LTN 92 that you will find in the Fearless 747-200. You need to crossfill, and actually it has a really cool thing on it. So crossfill from FMS1, and there you go, the flight plan's all there. That is something that will take a little getting used to, in that you realize this airport has glass panels. It's not a smart aircraft at all. So QNH 1008 is set. Another thing we'll need to do, switch over our nav source. So this aircraft, like another aircraft around, the Challenger 650, are both made by Canadair. So Canadair is the late rebranding of de Havilland Canada, who made the original Q400s, Q300s, Q200, Q100. So both of them made the aircraft, so there's a similar logic. So if you fly the Challenger, you understand how this works. The nav sources are really important because by default it will be on VOR thing. You need to switch it to FMS1 if you are going to follow LNAV, otherwise it will not work. Another thing I like to add, especially for the initial departure, is go to VS. I'm going to add 1500 feet a minute, just so that if I take off and I need to go straight into a autopilot, say we're going into IFR, of course I don't have a second person here. It makes it a little bit easier, so it's all preset. I know it's going to be safe, the aircraft, if I take my hands off and get lost in the cockpit. Need to switch this over. No, I need to switch this one over. Nope. That noise would say that the bags are loaded. Awesome. And that means all packs are loaded, bags are loaded, and we are fueled, so we are ready for actual startup. So close this. Make sure the bleeds are off for both and that the bleeds are on minimum. Exterior lights, so the beacon lights coming on. Anti-skid, we'll give it a test. Awesome. And before start checklist, so the circuit breakers, which are all modelled by the way, so you can pull every single one out. Everything is flush. Passenger signs are on, emergency light is armed, anti-skid on, and the light has gone out. Fuel transfer quantity is off, and we have 2,660 kilos of fuel. We will actually come down to here, we'll do that in a second. Emergency brake and pressure is still on, and the power levers are in disconnect. Condition levers, fuel is off, and takeoff data was reviewed. Okay, so now that we have everything, we're going to go and get our performance calculations done. So our ZFW is 24693. So obviously no scratch pad, you need to click this. 24693. Enter. That goes to fuel on board, and that's 2660. So 2660. Awesome. Gives us a gross rate 27353, and if we look here, gross rate 27369. The discrepancy can always be just that little bit. So 60. ZFW I put 24693. It's 24734. Correction. So that's why you need to make sure everything's correct. 274,403. ZFW keeps going up. Oh, we haven't got all of our passengers yet. That would be why. Well, I'm going to go fast load. So that means ground crew, all doors are closed. And we'll do one quick swoop. Something that is actually important that you do need to do. Make sure this door's closed. If you open this door, you can hear that, and there's going to be an alarm that comes on. This is a cargo hold. If this is open, you don't have any pressurization. So close that door. Cabin is all secure. And something to anyone who owns the Q400, you need to come back down here. And you kind of see it already. You need a little plushie. Always need the Fly Jason plushie on top. And the back door is all set, and the stairs are put away. Nice. Awesome. So, now that's all done, get that closed. And we will be ready for start in no time. So, this doesn't sound like music that's on my playlist. Knowing how I have to be with copyright-free music, or royalty-free music, when that happens, that's always not fun. Let's go like Sonata A major, why not? Can't do the... So, let's get this in. So ZFW's 25033. Fuel on board is 2660. Yeah, it's close enough. 2693. Cool. Okay, doke. So now that's all set, and we've got our plushie for good luck on our dash. I think it's time we get started. So now that we know Floosh wants to hear these sounds, gotta quiet everything down. Let's get started. So 122.8 is in, and we know that we are at Doke. Rockhampton traffic, get a Qantas Link 2909, starting engines at the stand. So let's come up here, engine 2 always, and press the starter. Engine's rising, NH is above 20. And we're going to crank it all the way up to 1020. Make sure these come down to taxi. Oh. Mind you, I have the audio turned down a lot for these. They sound really good. It's such a nice sound to hear. And actually what I'll do for you guys, exterior sounds can come up. Now that we've got a good start there, let's go start engine 1. Now this is my only qualm, and what a lot of people have said, these engines start way too fast. Okay, let's introduce fuel. 1020. Watch the ITT, PSI rise, oil pressure rise correction. And light up. There you go, see the engine clicks in with the ITT over there. And NH. We'll wait for both of these to settle at the same place. And let these stabilize. Thought the game broke for a sec because I just saw that stop. No, 65, 65, all good. ITT's all good. So, auxiliary tank pumps coming on, auto feather can come on, it's selected, yep. So that's just going to be armed. And we're going to make sure our systems page is off there. Nope, you bring it towards me. And we'll set our top of altitude, which is 19,000 feet today. Obviously we are a Q400, you're not going high in this thing. Okie doke, so that's all set. We'll get 1008 set over here. Everything's all good. Start approved. Fuel light is out, APU bleeds off, anti-collision light was red, and the engines were click start. I have to start external power, APU. Soft gens are already on. Get the bleeds for those engines on right now. Off. Main bus tyre was on. That always stays on. It's just right there. Battery temps, well, they were both in the white, but I guess we will check them again. Yep, temps are all good. Condition levers are to max, 1020. Standby hydraulic pressure and PTU control are on, and we'll see rise in standby. Pressure and quantity. Yep, cool, and we'll do the ISOL valve for number 3. That's open. Elevated travel. Is full and clear. Hydraulic, this can come back to norm. Flaps. Now, in my case, I do like a good flaps 10 departure. You don't need to, you can just do flaps 5. But especially with shorter runways, or if I want to do like an intersection departure, you need flaps 10. It's great if you want to get places quicker. Doug, flaps said de-ice not needed, rudder travel. I can actually use my rudders for this. Full travel. And steering is turned on. Windshield heats. Pitot heats. It's on. Taxi lights can come on. Radar, nav and comms are set. Yep. PFD, MFD and engine display is checked, and your damper is coming on. Awesome. So that's our after start checklist complete. Taxi checklist, taxi light is on, altimeters are set 1008. Flight instruments checked. Tanks, aux pumps 1 and 2 are already on. Flaps or auto feather is selected. Flaps 10 and indicated. Trim 3 set. Awesome, and in the white band. Takeoff warning. I forget where this was again. Which is kind of not a good thing. It's up here, isn't it? I was on the main page and I've just completely walked past it. They're all batteries, that's all that stuff. That's already been tested.
Lights low, lights low.
That's GPWS test.
Pull up.
Probably look at me in the face. What I will do though, make sure everything's done here. Yeah, that's your DI pressure. That's all good. Everything's looking good, and the forward outflow valve is looking good. Condition levers are max 1020. Pediostatic heats on, ice protection not needed, caution warning lights checked, flight clearance is reviewed and cabin is secured. So taxi checklist complete. So Rockhampton traffic, get a Queensland 2909 taxiing to Bravo, holding short runway 15 correction. Get ready for these beasts. Milk that beta, milk it. And if you've seen Q400s or been on the ramp with a Q400, you know that this is what they sound like. Here goes Bravo. Rockhampton traffic, get a Queensland 2909, backtracking runway 15. Okie doke. Control locks coming off. Oh, this plane does sound really good. And we're going to turn around just here. Don't even need brakes. So Crabin is notified. Bleed air 1 and 2. Well, we're going to turn those off. We want to maximize engine sound. Bleeds off, cool, and confirmed. Anti-collision light is on, and the landing lights are on. TCAS is on. Flight controls are free, I've already checked that, and flight taxi is coming on to flight. That's for the spoiler. Landing lights are on. Awesome. Now that's the spoilers, they auto deploy. Okie doke. Chrono's on. And remember, a like always helps much, and it goes much further than you could possibly think. And thank you for the support. Now I think we need to get up in the air. So, brace yourselves. Rockhampton traffic, get a Qantas Link 2909 taking off a runway 15. Let's come over to flight power. Flight rating. Bit of forward pressure. Speeds alive. $100 knots. 30, 140, rotates, and immediately taken by the wind. Positive rate, gear up. Let's get back in that cockpit. Beautiful. Coming back to flaps 5. 1,000 feet. Nav. LNAV is confirmed. Coming up to 180, flaps up. Coming to flight high. Rockhampton traffic at a Qantas Link 2909er. He's passing through 1,700. Clear runway 15. Coming up to 200 knots. Bring our RPM down to the 920s. Autopilot on, and we're going to come over to IAS, and we're going to set that to 200. And climbing out of here. Beautiful, let's do this. Snacks, how are we, mate? Oh, Ehu, look, I'm someone who hates the Q400 well, I've flown the Q400. If I can fly anything else, I will. It's not a comfortable plane to be in. Trust me, it is the best. It is such a fun plane to fly. And it just sounds fantastic. You will get tired of how loud it is, though. I will say that. Now, once we get through this clouds, I'll show you a little trick as we switch over waypoint. I'm going to actually increase my map distance. Beautiful. And beautiful integration of the weather radar for the Q400. Genuinely done so well. Now, a thing I want to point out to everyone, 200 is your climb speed. What's your optimal climb speed, I should say. Oh, doesn't she look the part? The flight model, fantastic, really lively to fly. The modelling of this aircraft, the sound pack of this aircraft, oh, it's so good. And it's so loud on the cockpit, you want to blow your ears out. So this is what you do. You want to make it a little quieter. You hear that wisp? Now this is going to sound stupid, but we will get the bleeds on. After takeoff checklist, landing gear is up, flaps are at 0, climb power is set. Bleed airs 1 and 2 are on, and hydraulic pressure and PTU are on normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps can come off. Engine temps, pressures, all in the green and beautiful. Very nice. Ice protection not on, not needed. Cabin pressure and temperature controls That's cabin rates going up, cabin altitude's great, and the differential's awesome. And passenger signs are still on. Now here we are, getting through the clouds. Now listen to how loud she is, right? And mind you, these are with the windshield wipers down. Watch this. It's a significant decrease in the loudness of it. Doesn't mean it's not loud, but it just gets rid of the grumble sound. Erhul, from what I've found, no, there is no option for that. Can I get steering turned off? Mostly because with my rudder pedals, instead of using my tiller like control that I have on top of my throttle, I'm just using my pedals. Mostly so I don't have to have my hands on the damn thing the entire time. Okay, well this is all looking good, and the pressure is looking great. I like Dash 8, especially for the quirkiness it has. 100, yeah, Snacks, it is such a weird aircraft and how it's set up. Look at that drift. And look at that terrain. Using Map Enhancement Pro with the hybrid maps, and we also have Global Forest V2 on. Oh, magnificent. Actually relatively quiet when you're down in the back. It's got that sound to it, which it does in real life. This is, if you wonder why I chose this seat, it's because this is the seat I sat in when I flew in the Q400 last. Beautiful. Like, these maps look fantastic. That's how loud it is once you get in here. Now, if you want to know why it's loud, that nose design. Now, the ERJ145 has also played with this problem. It has a turboprop nose, not a jet nose, and the windows are flatter, so it is louder, or it's extremely loud. Oh, hello. Q400 also likes a really good bank. Awesome, coming up 10,000. I'm going to get these landing lines off. But yeah, I haven't been able to find a headphone control or like loudness switch anywhere. It's coming through 10,000. We're going to come over to standards. And we're just going to maintain that 200 the entire way up, because that's all we have to do. Now, similar to the Challenger 650, when it comes to VNAV, VNAV we use for descent. We do not use it for climbing or whatever. It is only used for descent. Now, when we get closer and later down our flight plan, because we've got a little bit of flying to do, I'll introduce to you guys the use of the ILS and how we're actually going to do that, because once you realize it, you're going to question humanity. Another thing we need to do, alt select. If you don't alt select, it's going to fly through your altitude. This plane came out 30 years after the 747-200 and doesn't have, and the 747-200, that was its thing. 30 years, no development. You know what did have it? The BAE 146. So let's go charts. So we are cruising our way down. Amberley area controls up. Very nice. They're flying down all the way to Brisbane. And what we can do is we can come down to here, VOR1, and we're going to go 113.2. this is something that does irk me. It's so sensitive, like sometimes you will not get where you actually need to be. And it's something they do need to fix, otherwise you get frequencies like that, you will not be able to fix them. So you can get a decimal 4, but like if we go like this, we can't even get decimal 4. So one way you can fix that is if you go to, it's not data, it's not nav, it's tune. 122.8. Okay, now let's go to nav 1 and we'll go 113.2. 113.2. 0. And now that shows 113.16. Okay, so this is obviously a problem. Wait, does this one? No, it would have a 8.5 kilohertz radio in it. Yeah, it does. So as you can see there, there is a discrepancy as to what's shown down here and what's shown up here. Now, if you want to know what this does to me, it hurts my brain. Ooh. But, guys, I'm just saying, we've got in store a surprise for you for the runway we actually need to use, which is 01 right, which means we're flying over the city. For the approach, we're going to do the blacker approach. Like a 7 Alpha, something like that. Let's see. We definitely aren't, because that's for the south. We need a northern, so probably the Morby 2 Alpha. What's that like? Oh, that's what I call perfection. And ILS 01 right. Now, when you see how I'm going to do the ILS when we get to that point, it's the type of aircraft that you're going to question humanity for a second. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down through here, IBBN, menu, arrival, we're arriving 01 right, we are using the Morb 2 Alpha, so we need to go down, Morb 2 Alpha, number 7 there, no transition, and our approach is going to be ILS Delta 01 right. Awesome. Is that with the transition at Glen? It sure is, so we're going to add that. Let's go to our flight plan. If we're lucky, no discontinuities, or as it says, no link. This is for the go around. Okie doke, so now that's all done, that looks all good. And coming up to 15,000. Let's read the chat, let's see. I would, look, here's the thing, Knight, also g'day, how's it going? I would personally prefer the Saab 340, and the reason why is I grew up with the Saab 340, my uncle's a mechanic for them, for a major airline in Australia that still operates them. And I remember like when they would do the engine run-ups or whatever, like sitting in the aircraft when they did that. What I will do though for you guys is aircraft interior. Turn that all the way down. It's way too loud. I don't know why that's got a click spot, but it's like a question of, do I really want to know? Or because the click spots sometimes go through the aircraft, and as far as I'm concerned, I could be interacting with something outside of the aircraft. But I'll give you an idea. When I was learning this aircraft, is within a day I did a Sydney to Coffs Harbour return. Just manually like I did LNAV. That's very easy to set up. And that comes from flying the CL650. Obviously, similar systems. Obviously, in the CL they use ProLine systems, but when it comes to the autopilot, it's very rudimentary and very much the same. So when it comes to that, it wasn't too difficult. Trying to do an ILS though, that required a video and a half to learn. Now, obviously we've got some pretty significant clouds, so what I'm thinking of doing for all of our enjoyment is going to here, I'm going to go customize, and I'm going to manual. I'm just going to delete these, and then that's above us. We're going to apply those changes. Same winds will apply, but we do get the visuals of the ground. Now, what is some of the downfalls with Map Enhancement Pro? Well, you can see it. There's sometimes clouds that are baked into the tire, and that's something that MSFS with their AI, they try to remove it. Now, in my case, do I really care? No. But for some people, they will. But when it comes to the pure visibility of things, I mean, doesn't matter how high you go or whatever, it still looks absolutely superb. Coming up to 17,000 now. But it looks really, really, really good. Now, something I can do if I run over to it right now. Now, we're running hybrid maps, and the fallback maps for it are Apple Maps, because I love the vividness Apple Maps gives. But when we fly down to, say, Tasmania, where I'm from, it doesn't portray it as green. It does it in the summer colours, where it's very yellow because the grass is dying out and everything. So what I like to do is, if I use the combined maps, when you get down to Queensland, it uses Google Maps, therefore it's a lot, and I mean it is a lot cleaner and clearer. Now, image quality is set to high, ground resolution set to high, loading, high resolution when flying low, yep. And I'm going to switch my altitude threshold over. And why am I doing that? Now, see, with our textures, they are great. Now, if I switch it over to 20,000, instead of loading in lower quality textures because we're so high, what I'm going to do is force it to load higher quality textures, as if I was flying really low. And there is a significant fidelity increase, and I just want to also make sure audio and everything sounds great, everything's balanced. I know the audio for this is turned down. It's because it has to be, otherwise we will all be deaf. Oh, I did a flight out of South Australia today, like one of the FIFO flights. Something this aircraft's going to give a lot of opportunities for, especially in Australia, because of how vital it is. Let's just say there's going to be some terrain that you're going to see that is just phenomenal when we continue to do Australia flying. Obviously, QantasLink is the main user of Q400s in Australia. But if you look at Western Australia, there's a new operator called Nexus. Someone's already made delivery. I already have it installed. So we'll do Western Australia someday in the Q400. But what I want to focus on, especially in our case, is your suggestions. Where do you want to see Map Enhancement Pro be used? Obviously, it works all over the world. So if you want to see how it can benefit you, or if there's any significant difference, whatever, chuck some ideas down below, because whatever's the most suggested, whatever's the most liked, we'll go there first. I am thinking Alaska, I'm thinking Canada, I'm thinking South America. All of these places are really good to keep in mind. So, yeah, just suggest away and we'll do what we can do. Absolutely lovely. We'll get some music on for you guys. Just realised Own3D has squished the chat in a way that it just doesn't work. So let's fix that as well while I'm over here already. Save that. Of course that's going to break it, so we're going to give it a good old refresh, why don't we? Nope, it's going to completely annihilate the chat. Ah well. Swiss Alps. I have been thinking of that actually. A bit of Innsbruck, perhaps? Just saying, that is definitely an option. 19,000 feet. So now that we're at 19,000, bring our props down to 850. Torque can come up to 65. And now we are cruising. Fuel damper, autopilot are on. Awesome. So we're going to get our checklist up again. Cruise altimeter is set 1013, power is set, cabin pressure is good and in the white. That looks lovely. And the lights are as required. Awesome. So as we get closer, what I want to do, I want to go to our VNAV page. I sit in a VNAV of say 1500 feet a minute. That's normally what I like to stay at. It's just a comfortable descent. It's really easy. You stick the power back to like 30 on the torque and you're maintaining that constant speed. 136 miles to the top of SIP, so not too bad. And once we get to Brisbane, depending on if I'm alive enough or not, we might go down to Coffs Harbour because that is a lovely area, especially when it comes to ortho scenery. I know that because I flew there the other day. But look at that quality. As you can see, the fidelity has definitely upgraded itself. And I mean, look at that. And while there is, see, there's no trees that are spawned in there because Forest V2 isn't. It's made for Europe and the US. That's it. It's not really going to apply to Australia. But the shadows, because the higher grade ortho, it gives this illusion that there is, in fact, trees down there. And there you go, see? It will spawn trees where there's dense forest, but not out here. That's where MSFS does take the edge. But we can say, well and truly, that the ortho quality, especially up here, is far superior. And this is another thing I want to point out to you guys. If you look at your FPS counter at the top there, we're in the 50s. This aircraft is extremely well optimized. I have not had any performance issues, knock on wood, and it's been really, really bloody good. Compared to like your other aircraft. So if I was say loading the 747-200 right now, be around the 38 FPS mark in 12.4. If we were to say the A321 by Tolos, we would be around the 42 FPS mark. So if we can definitely get up to 50 in cruise, I would say that's definitely a job well done. But look at that fidelity. Mind you, we've got the haze going through. If I removed all the haze and all that, it'll look fantastic. Well, even better than what it already does. Now, let's keep in mind let's keep in mind, to get Map Enhancement Pro is going to set you back $40 US for a year. Now, we live in a world of subscriptions. I'm not a fan of subscriptions, hence why I've cancelled majority of them. This is not an auto-renewing payment, thankfully, and it's just something I want to try out also until Gen 3 Sceneries come out for X-Plane, which will not only be, from what they've described, a significant improvement, but be a lot better. And maybe one day we won't need to use Ortho Scenery, but alas, we will see. But if you want to see my view when I did World Camp, oh, look at that. World Camp all the way down. I mean, this was it. Just looking at the engine, enjoying that view. And something that they don't do on Qantas Link Q400s. See, I'll show you the interior difference. Okay. See this little thing that comes out here? On Qantas Link Q400s, that's a really good texture. They don't have this. Therefore, if I'm sitting here, I can actually put my feet down on the floor. Now, on the Q400 that I flew over in India, which was a SpiceJet one, it had this. This is where the life vest was. So I'll put it this way. One foot was here, the other foot was on the floor. Not comfortable at all. Anyone who says otherwise is a maniac. But look at this. I mean, yeah, we've got that headwind component, only 7 knots. Cruising out at 328, well, our velocity is 328 true airspeed. 245 indicated, just cruising with chill. And fuel flow, kilograms an hour, we're going through 1,060 an hour. We've got 2,120, so we've got 2 hours of flying time sitting at this, and we are comfortable to fly. I see, Snacks, I see. Yeah, obviously, I mean, I didn't fly. I own X-Plane 11 now, but I obviously didn't fly in X-Plane 11. The only reason I bought it was actually to possibly buy the FJS400, but then I was like, oh, that's a lot of work. What annoys me is the FJS400, when you go on their website, the cover image is literally an Ansett 727, and that's what I want to fly. Really seem to have done something right. Indeed, especially when I'm hitting 70, 80 with Tolos or IXEG. Now, the IXEG stuff's always been interesting. Obviously, in Australia, with the 737-500, that was introduced with Australian Airlines. So if you find that livery, fly with it, Snacks. Please. But when it comes to the IXEG in total, I mean, is it even supported? Like, does it have support? Like, you hear about like people owning it because they own an X-Plane 11, But is it even supported? Or it's not only supported, but you look at how much the aircraft is. Is it worth it, in your opinion? Could you fly it really, but you suffer from a problem I suffer, and a lot of us suffer, is we have too many planes. And while we do this, I'm just gonna do some research. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. Wet shirt competition winner. Let's go. That's not fun. Don't mind me, I'm actually looking at hotels at the moment. Really? So they're charging $300 a night now. But in 2 weeks they're going to charge $100 a night. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Planes technically supported. Dev is like present 2 days a year. FMS, old FMS, no hold page, 737-300, flood them. Yeah, exactly. Snacks, that's what you gotta do. It's like the Dash 8 Q400. Came out in the 90s, but you fly like a plane from the 80s. Lone Dev, still love it. Too many airplanes, don't understand. Is that Australian or for not? No. What I mean by too many aeroplanes is we've got so many bloody planes in our hangar that we don't have time to fly them all. Snacks, if you're gonna fly like the 500 mod, you gotta fly the Sorry, my brain's just fried itself. You gotta fly the Australian Airlines livery. I'll say Qantas had 737-500s, but oh no, it's a 737-300. Hang on, Snacks, I'm gonna send you an image on Discord. Yeah, very nice. Ansett also had the 737-300, which went in to replace their 737-200s. Awesome, 74 miles to top of cent. Can I actually bring that range in? And I'm also going to go on to my sky scanner. Let's check the chat. 3-3 RG mod for XP11 includes 500 roll ammo rock. Very nice. Yeah, the Australian livery, I do miss it. So Amberley and Oakey have approach, but not Adelaide. I went past Amberley. Actually, if you are in our channel's Discord, you would have seen when I got to the why did I disconnect? X-Plane connection lost. Has X-Plane crashed? What's happening? Did I jinx myself? What has happened here? That is the question. Okay, what I'm going to do... Take a photo of that. I've got the fuel load, so... And we're just near top of the stands. We've just passed YMDA. So if I need a load in the aircraft, I've got all my things. Now, this is something I've been saying for a while when it comes to 12.4 and why I wanted 12.3 to stay. The instability of it does my head in. Oh, no, I'm yawning as well at 2 PM. And hang on, if I go to MSI Center, CPU usage is 30, GPU is a 51, but it's not the sim using it. Now this is something. My wild guess ME Pro froze your sim. I heard it could happen with ME. Well, what we can do, it might lead it to crash, but I'm just going to cancel it. Wait for the program. We'll see if it does anything. Otherwise, we'll just stick all the stuff in, because I know exactly where we are and I know how much fuel we have. That fuel gauge has gone down. Okay, so the sim is obviously existing. Let me see a log txt file. Are we alive or not? Two hours, 6 minutes, 36, 2 hours, 7 minutes. Okay. So we'll give it a quick reset then. My Yankee Mike Delta Alpha. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let me get this all sorted again. Now, I didn't have any problems with X-Plane today until I did that 767 flight and it crashed on the way there. So I don't know what it is. I'm also an idiot because I've just realized what I've done. Hang on. Nope. That needs to be closed. That needs to be closed because that will cause issues if I have that open. Close, cancel, and that will close it quickly. ME Pro. I need open. And we'll open sim again. Well, let's read the chat. Let's see. That could happen with ME. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, Snacks, because the thing is like I was just reading the log.txt file and it didn't have anything to do with the loading of stuff. Yankee Mike Delta Alpha, because we were just literally above this. And let me get the charts up, because we'd obviously passed Suzuki. Yankee Mike Delta Alpha, let's see. That's by the Suzuki waypoints. Okay, so then there, and then we'll fly down. Okay. I'm also finding X-Pilot could be an issue. Because I've had like X-Pilot will do TCAS overrides or will try load in all of the aircraft files. So that's something I do want to keep in mind. Like the INS2, still use it in some other add-ons in XP12. Oh, Knight, if I get the... look, I'm unlikely to get the 737-200. I will be putting an FMS in it. Which, yes, I know it's sacrilege, but, oh well. Who's gonna stop me? Let's go... All of these need to be closed. A little bit of weather up there. Don't mind me, I'm actually just doing some reading into things. Why is my YouTube music gone? Jeez. Computer's having a bit of a moment. Oh, War Thunder's doing the Ninth Wave update preview. I have... When was the last time I played War Thunder? I don't know. That's how old or long it's been. Hell yeah. I mean, this is perfect for a Q400 down here. Yep, okay, so what I'm going to do... Isn't there a, like a... Isn't there a quick turn on state? Or do I need to reload aircraft now that I've got that sorted? If I go like this and I go reload current aircraft, will this work? Because, like, I know the waypoints in that I just need to put in shouldn't be too long. Hey, at least you'll actually see me put in waypoints in this aircraft. It's not fun, I'm just going to say that. Just with the engines on. They want to be on, you can hear them. Let's get the FMSs all sorted, all of these screens are all on, everything, yeah, it's pretty much all sorted. I'm going to get my load, which was... un momento, por favor. It's always fun, isn't it? View flight plan. Now that's something I do want to see is autosave features become normal in a lot of these aircraft. I think we live in a world where you do need them now. So what I'm going to do, our ZFW, was going to be 25460, so 25460. Fuel. Actually, I will just get this up here on my phone because I took a photo of it. Was 2000 kilos, 2000 is 2000 flat. CG is still looking great. Load summary. It's literally just going to be 30 minutes. Confirm. Cool. Aircraft's already loaded. So I'm just going to get this accepted. And flight plan 1DA. Suzuki. Yep. Otlib. This is always going to be fun when you have to do all of this. Otlib. Morby. Ramul. And then Gala. And then YBBN. And then for 7, we're going to go... Nope. 7, we're going to go menu. Arrival. It's 01 right. Approach is going to be Morby 2A. And we are going to do... If I could put it in... 1, and that was with the transition at Glen. Awesome. Look at that. All sorted. Is the APU even on? It is. Very nice. What we'll do, let's get the startup. Engine 2 start. 20%. Okie doke. This is going to be all fixed up. Make sure our nav source is correct, FMS1, and we'll come over here, flight plan crossfill to FMS1, make sure all of these are all correct. That just completely glitched out. Nope, crossfill from FMS1. There we go. That's a lot better. And now let's get engine 1 started. Cool. Introduce the fuel and to 850. That needs to come off. Your damper is on. We'll get the systems page switched over. Yeah, as you guys can probably tell, I am not a fan whatsoever of 12.4. I think it's still a relatively broken update. They do need to fix it. Yeah, you got multi-threading, but you don't have the stability, like, at all. Okay, well, that's all good. Everything that I would need is all sorted. Pitot heat needs to come on. Let's get the blades on. That needs to go to normal. That's all sorted. Fast sleeper and no smoker signs need to be on. Strobes were on. Those are all sorted. Awesome. Now to take her up into the air, so we're going to pause. We're going to go. Give me the aircraft. 19,000 feet. And what speed were we reading at? That's a good question. I actually took a photo of that. Did I? Ground speed's 323. Okie doke. We're gonna go nav. I'll select cabin outs, all great. Could possibly be a issue. There you go. Flaps up. Emergency brake should be off. And let's see. Nope, we're in a dive. One 1013 is selected. Heading needs to be corrected. You know what that sounds like? Nope, I know what it is. It's the power. Let's just get her correct and up to Suzuki. Give her a little bit of a performance boost, why not? Cool, that's 1,000 feet to go. And once we're up here, we will be all fine, and then we'll just get everything sorted. Comes back to norm, recircs are on, everything's all sorted there. And the fuel looks, yeah, perfectly fine for what we need. Stick this over onto IAS and set speed 200. Nice one, Suzuki Q. Come over to VNav, and we want to set in that path of 1,500 feet a minute. That gives us 87 miles. I will just fast forward that so it's a bit quicker, because we're around 74 miles out when we did this. Well, before it went kaput. Okay, now that's all set. Come back to 850. Power set, and get this all sorted. And QantasLink 2909 is reconnected. Nice. Speed's coming alive. Now turning around to where we actually need to be facing. And actually, this gives me the perfect opportunity to start showing you guys how we're going to actually plan the FMS for the ILS approach. So, let's get everything sorted. Don't mind me, it's a little bit of cheating. But anything to get us back to where we need to be. Okay, so for the ILS, let's get our charts up by BBN. We're going to be landing 01 right. Actually, we'll get the real... No, we're not doing real time. We're going to do real weather though. Let's load that in. Okay. So, we're landing 01 right, which means we need to be on a heading of 16. So we're on nav, and we're going to maintain that. You can actually move the heading over to our current. And if I come down here, see the format button? I need to hold this down. Now you can see we've gone into a course mode, so we're going to set this. You see our course up at the top here. Currently 181. And we need to set this to, what do we see? 16. 16. Okay, so that course is all set. Now another thing we will need to do is set the frequency. So we saw the frequency for 01 right here. It's 109.5. So if all goes well, we might be able to get it. No, it wants to do that. Actually do need to get that up. That's our com page. I'll be it's really interesting to have. Won't just tune FMS1. There we go, 109.5 is finally in the box. And our second frequency we wanted, if I get my charts up, 113.2. So 109.5, VHF 1, FMS tune, that's what I want to see. And come over to nav 2, and this needs to become 113.2. Awesome, so see VOR2 has come alive, that's what we want. And that's going to point us up there. And what we're going to do now that we've got 109.5 in the box, as you can see it switches over to ILS1, indicating we're going to be using an ILS frequency. I want to get out of this, so out of the tuning page, and once we're out of the tuning page we can hold down format and it goes back to our VNav page. And look at that, we've got some pretty little clouds. Now if we look at the weather in Brisbane, oh, FPS is a little low. That's what happens when you quickly reload X-Plane, instead of giving it a little bit. 23 degrees, Vision 999, SHRA 150 at 7 knots. So a little bit of a tailwind, but nothing that is, how do we say, too scary. Also, I don't think Simlink is working. No, it is working. Okay. And with that, 01 right is no longer in use. Great. So I might have to... Do we have Tower or anyone around Brisbane? Any traffic in Brisbane? Okay. Do you guys want to see the city approach into Brisbane, or would you like to see the correct approach that we should be doing? Well, Nee, how are we, mate? Long time no see. Hope all is doing well for yourself. Okie doke. Need a bit of music in the background, why don't we? There we go. VR2 definitely alive there. Look, we're going to use the quote-unquote incorrect approach because it just gives us a little bit of a fun feature that you'll be witness to, because I own... It's the only real airport I've spent money on is Brisbane and the ORBX scenery for Brisbane, so that comes with a city. It looks really good. And that's what I think we'll do today. So 72 miles out from the airport. That VNAV path... 16 miles to go. So what we're going to do is see, we're already on Alt. So we are going to come down. If we get the pager for it. LS01 right, and we are on the Morby 2 Alpha for ILS101 right. And here we go, so coming Glen, max 185 knots 3000, heading over 16, maintain at 3000, localizer at 2500, come down to 1500 by 5.9 miles out, and we'll be at 1230 by GOGX, and that's when we will definitely be on glide slope. Minimums are 208 or 220 for decision height, and in any case we need to go around runway, or heading a track 016, so runway track to 1.9 miles out, and then climb past 500, turn right on heading of 046, climb to 4000 or direct. And transition level is flight level 110. And here we go. See? Okay, so as you'll see here, we've got this purple box here. We're going to switch over to VNAV. VNAV is armed. And this is our VNAV box. So when that starts falling, that's when we start descending. And what I will do... Let's move this down a bit. So that box, I believe, comes alive within 10 miles. She sounds good. The winds, tailwind is 4 knots, so it's the limit for the Q400 is 10, I believe, with tailwind. So, and it's only a 3 knot crosswind as well, so it'll be perfectly fine. What's this message reading to us, huh? Top of descent alert. Yep. See, we see that VNAV path coming down. And remember, if we come over to format, we've already formatted ILS1016. Now, when you see how... Now, mind you, this plane came out in the 90s. The A320 is out. The NG 737s are out. Okay? The 747-400 is out. The 777-200ER is out. As we start descending, VNAV path, that's what you want to see. We're going to pull that power back as well. Torque around 20-ish is perfect. It's turboprop. It's way more manual. There is no auto throttle. There is no immediate automatic pullback of throttles. You have to do it all manually. And if you're wondering, that's not an auto throttle disconnect. That's to get it over the gates. Okie doke. So descending on the way through. YBBN, what is our... Oh, QNH 1013. Beautiful. That's what I want to see. Oh. Best sounding plane, change my... Well, I could say best sounding turboprop, but it's kind of the only real good turbo. That's way too loud. Whoops, sorry everyone, you're all deaf now. Do the trick. Gets the airflow a little cleaner because the airflow gets stuck on this and goes underneath and over. And creates this horrendous noise. Oh. I need to run down in the cabin. 2 seconds, everyone. I need my little plushie. I know that. Torque around the 20 mark and maintaining that speed on our way down. Let's approach any speed restrictions. 230 max at Bettany and max 185 at Glen. Okay, so yeah, that won't be a problem. And obviously it's late in Australia. It's 23:43 right now. Mind you, I live close to Brisbane, so it's 11:43 at night. 14,100. Bring that altitude down. Bring it down to 2,000. Because by that time we would have well intercepted the glide slope and all that. The VNAV on this does keep in mind the altitude restrictions. So we'll keep that in mind. Look at this terrain though. Oh, snacks. Yeah, it's didn't you see it? I had it on the bench the entire time. It's hidden here. Of course, Sim is the one who showed me where it was. Okay, seatbelt signs, everything should be on. Yep, cool. And checklist, descent checklist, altimeters, not set. Well, actually, technically they already are set because 1013 is what we need. What is that? Is there just a pyramid that's just been randomly created? Oh no, that'd be... Oh, I know what mountain that's supposed to be. Tuners are set, approach was briefed and done. Cabin altitude controls are set, so it's just on automatic norm. But once you get lower, you are going to want to depressurize it. And ice protection definitely not required. Get that approach checklist out soon. $10,907 by Gala, which we shall be. And I'm going to bring this in a little more. But look at this scenery. Map Enhancement Pro, I mean... No, ow, that hurt. What was that view? just drifting its way over. Oh, look at that, we've already switched over. Let's just make sure it hasn't actually changed. 231013, awesome. 150 at 7 knots, which is what it's maintains the entire time. Between 7,000 and 5,000 daybo. And see, this is Global Forest V2. Sometimes it will work in Australia, sometimes it won't. It works fantastically in America and Germany though. Speeds under 250, that's perfectly acceptable. And to keep in mind with Bettany, 230 max. And then 185 at Glen. Now that's something that this does show. It's only altitude restrictions, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, so it's just altitude restrictions. I don't think there is any way of getting speed restrictions shown, but oh well. Das ist life. So it'll be flaps 35 landing, left hand seat. Go around was already briefed. Look at the fidelity of the, like, that looks really good. Oh, what airfield's that? I don't know. Oh, that's Caboolture. Now, something with Caboolture Airport. There's actually a what's the Beechcraft Starship that's parked there? I do need to actually get to Caboolture one day because it's still parked there. But yeah, look at those maps. Obviously, yeah, we don't have the buildings, but if you look far enough, it looks good enough. Oh, also, I just need to make a comment. 7 people currently watching. Holy guacamole. That is, that's really awesome. Well, g'day everyone. Obviously, it's a lot easier for you guys over in Europe right now. It's 11:50 for me right now. 6,000 feet. Oh, holy FPS though. 20. Ooh. We are locked. Now you see this? Look, you got to monitor your speed with this thing. Now, seeing as we're under 10,000, props come up to full RPM. You will get that bleed switch warning, but that's normal. As far as I'm concerned, if you get that, that's how you know your engines are working. Beautiful ortho. I think this is Google Maps, if not Apple. Now that 1020, if I come down to the 30 knot range, look at that, holds that speed. When you're at 1020, it's something I found. You go down to if you go to 1020 and go to 30 torque, you maintain that speed. Yeah, Walney, yeah, it's pretty much midnight, mate. Oh, I've got to remember I need to use the bloody pedals, don't I? When we eventually come into land. Well, BBN not so far away. But yeah. ILS is in this. Oh, just look at that. That looks really good. But Is this Sunny Coast? I actually need to check my maps because this looks... Oh, this is Narang... Oh, that... Okay, oh, Red Cliff's just over there. Okay, I was up here the other day. I'm like, that's why this looks familiar. We will actually be passing over Archerfields. The Glen waypoint for the extended centre line is actually... oh, those clouds. Is actually above Archerfield. So that's the alternative airport. Now, if you guys own ORBX Brisbane Airport and the city scenery, you will realise that Archerfield has in the middle of it like a 2-foot drop. Okay, because of the meshes. Whenever you have a scenery in X-Plane, if you don't delete the mesh, the ortho won't work, unfortunately. Point in case, when we did that MD11 stream in Germany to Munich, so it was EGNX over to Munich, you realise that there was no ortho before we got to the airport perimeter and then ortho started. That's because of the perimeter, not perimeter, the mesh, which takes over an entire tile. They do need to fix that. Okay, look at that. That looks really good. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Oh, and Brisbane City over there. Is if your scenery's got a mesh and you don't know how to patch files like myself, because I just don't know how to do it. I've watched so many guides. Ortho for XP just doesn't work for me. Yeah, all the fun stuff. But yeah, when it comes to Brisbane City, deleting the mesh, it looks perfectly fine. Brisbane Airport, I deleted the mesh, looks perfectly fine. And then you add 1302 flat 1 and it fixes it all. But look at this. Perfect tree coverage. And now this isn't even the highest fidelity I've seen these maps go. So it hasn't even loaded the highest fidelity in. But look how good that looks. Now guys, I was like, do you want me to raise the volume of the plane? And then I realized it's actually quieter in the cabin than it is in the cockpit. There's the hill. Griffith University's aviation campus is right here. Yes, I am correct. I know because I was accepted there, but the aviation course doesn't actually contain flying, which was like, huh, what's the point? Be here, so I was here Monday to Wednesday this week. No, Tuesday to Thursday this week. And next week I'm going to be there Monday to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm in a rural country town, so it does get to annoy the daylight out of you. Pick it up. Speed restriction at Bethany's Pets. I'm going to slowly bring our speed down, obviously. So our speed's here. And if we remove that, your flap speeds. But yeah, this should set up for the beautiful city departure. Make sure steering's off, because I don't want nose wheel steering when we're landing there. Point alert, awesome. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to preemptively set our heading bug up, because I'll show you how to do the ILS. Under 185 at Glen. And cabin take seats for landing. And here's Archerfield. When we get the bus which comes down this highway, you always see all these Cessnas and slings. A lot of TSI slings, I must say. Always taken off, flying around. 185's MIP. 109.5 is already tuned. Very nice. Gotta monitor that power. I'm gonna get our landing lights out because they're predominantly on the wing. Taxi light actually needs to stay off. And all I'm doing is just easing that power backwards and forwards. Flaps 5. Look at the fidelity. Look at that fidelity of that ortho. Like, that looks really, really, really good. Brisbane's actually, yeah, it's a recently decent. It's actually just taken over neighbouring cities. Okay, so what we're gonna do? Switch over to heading. We're going to switch nav source over to our ILS frequency. We're going to arm the approach. Localizer is captured. Very nice. So you see, you have to set it over. You need to fly on heading, and then you need to activate. Well, you need to switch the nav source to the localizer itself, and then you can arm the approach or the glide slope. Okay, 8 mile final. Brisbane traffic, get a Qantas 2909er is on final approach 8 miles for 01 right. Traffic. Glide slope captured. And there's Brisbane City. That's the Gabba. That's actually getting closed down soon and taken down. And when I normally stay in the city, I'm normally in like a building right there. That's the new casino. Beautiful looking scenery. 7 miles, let's get that gear down. Oh, beautiful. Start bringing the speed down now. Don't go on a beta. Altimeters are set, lights are on. GPWS landing flap is flaps 35 because that's what we want to use today. And flaps 35 can come down. Fuel transfer, it's on. Standby hydraulic PTU central coming on. Hydraulic pressure and quantity is checked. Passenger signs are on. No warning signs, and the cabin is secure. So approach checklist complete. Landing checklist. Landing gear down 3 greens. Flaps set and flaps 35 is indicated. Condition levers are 1020. Bleed air 1 and 2 come to off. And flight attendants are notified. Awesome. Landing checklist complete. Gnarly bit of tailwind there. Just means she needs to be tamed a little more. But here we go. Autopilot disengaged. There's no sound for it. And that is, like the real aircraft, is strange. I remind you, she is a turboprop. You need to keep power in. Don't need sunglasses for this one.
$100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh! That's my first ever butter in the thing. That's my first butter in it. Okay, coming in reverse. 60 knots, manual braking. And we're going to vacate. Steering, nose wheel steering coming on. Braking, 30 knots, taxi coming on. Well, that was not expected at all. Come in a beta. Oh, well, I'm relatively chuffed with that. Well, that's going to look great on the replay. What's it? Oh, brain. Brisbane traffic. Get a Queensland 2909ers off at Bravo 4, taxiing via Bravo to the stand. That is the first time I've ever bloody graced this damn thing. And I did it with a tail width. Okay, Doke, flaps coming up. Backup hydraulic pumps coming off. Landing lights coming off. Central lights coming off. Let's get that APU self-test done. Bleed air coming off. Let's turn her around. So nice to have rudder pedals so you can just use your feet the entire time. I know exactly where we are parking. Should do some cobber mops sometime. Oh, but that was very, very good. That was what I would say textbook. Great approach. Everything was... Speed restrictions were met. Everything was all sorted. That taxi light's coming off as well. And this is... That's the gate we need to be at. Sorry for deafening everyone. Yeah, we need to come over here, so it's gate 17. Yeah, this is the Qantas terminal. Hi mate, how's it going? And no, we won't use this, we're going to use this over here. Mate, you mind giving us a hand? Tell us where to go. Jeez. Pull on that power. Oh, listen to those sounds. I'm happy with that. Park and brake set. Emergency. Well, not power emergency. Engines come back to flutter. Auto fed, I should say. Bleed air coming on for the APU control. Comes over there. And fuel off. 1 and 2. God, how bloody loud this is. Oh, look at that, we're getting rain on our windscreen. Are you, sir, are you going to still remain that loud? Anyway, that bleed air is on, everything's good. Pitot heat's coming off. All of these lights can come off. Fast seatbelts, no smoking signs are off. All of that's off. Nope, that stays on. And I'm gonna go, well, first of all, undock the damn jetway. We can't use a jetway. You don't even try, buddy. Go away. And start unloading. 3 dings means shit's working. But yeah, everyone, well, with that, we are very nicely and very lovely into Brisbane. Now, we will do a replay. But I just want to showcase this aircraft. I mean, I would say, like, as someone who definitively disliked the Q400, I'm more than happy to fly it. She is, well, she's the Greyhound bus of planes, especially in Australia. A bit like the Saab 340s. But just to fly this aircraft in the sim, performance is good. The sounds are magnificent, and they have that meatiness of a turboprop that you want to hear. I've been to Sydney Airport many times because my father used to work there, and you hear Q400s on ramps frequently. I remember seeing a Q400s when I went to World Camp because it's just open apron, and it sounds identical to what this, and this is something that this aircraft gets across so well, is the sound of things. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do fast unload, and then I'm going to go and ask that all the doors be closed. Okay, and with all of these closed, this will do a replay of that landing, because yeah, that landing was pretty good, wasn't it? Doke, wait for the door to close. There you go. Now let's get this all sorted. So we're disconnecting. And what I'm going to do for us, because whenever I'm at Brizzy Airport, I mean, it's rare, but you come to this road, this like access road down here. I mean, bit of a wind. It was like 13 knots for that crosswind. You know what? This might deafen you, so just be careful with your ears. Like, that captures the sound so perfectly. Let's get that view for the over here. And that's what I do like with this plane, is it's so animated when you land it. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, just gentle all round. Not a fuss in the world. Lovely. That's what you want to see. That was beautiful. Get it back up in the air. I want a wing view. Something that this aircraft is very good at. Flaps 35 coming out. Doesn't this ortho look fantastic though? I mean, just the quality of everything. All the hydraulic sounds of the Dash 8 coming very loudly and proudly on. Brisbane International Terminal, been there a few times now. And you just keep that power in the entire way down, and then like you feel 2 feet above, go straight into beta. Bam, there you go, plants it. Straight into reverse. And that's the thing, is when you're flying this, you only need idle reverse. There is extremely rare occasions you will go into max reverse. Just listen to those sounds. Oh, that's truly gorgeous. Oh, dude, we're gonna get another one. We'll go from the back of the wing, why not? And I think everyone, with that, does sound pretty good. Very much like the Nifty 50 and the ATRs. Look, Knight, for me, my favourite engines are the Rolls-Royce Darts. There is no competition. That's why I would love someone to make a Lockheed Electra. Like an L188 Electra, flying the Ansett colours or the Buffalo colours. That's what really what I want. Anywho, everyone, with that, I need to start heading to bed. I've got work tomorrow, so I hope all of you have enjoyed this stream. Great to see the turnout today, and what a great landing to end it off with. Well, with that, I hope also with the UI, I've obviously moved the camera down a little lower. We've got a subscribe thing on the other side. If you prefer it, comment, put it in our Discord channel. If not, we can always go back to what it was before. Anyway, I hope you have a great one. I'm your host, Mitch. You can call me Taz. And I'll see you in the next stream. Chin chin.